This is assignment 2 of government policies, where we will be describing, doing P6 of the assignment, demonstrating how government policies are developed. My name is James Gunningham, and we have
Dingle.
I'm Michael Edwards.
And I'm Adson Jollop.
Johnny Boy.
Right, so the first of it is meetings. There are 3 stages of meetings, and first is cabinet. Cabinet meetings, this is a meeting involving the MPs and the PM, where they'll scrutinise the policy in every possible way before they put it forward, to make the policy as effective and as fair as they can, without damaging their outlook. Yeah. The next is parliamentary committees. These committees will involve MPs and Lords who the policy would most concern, such as a policy about business would involve Lord Alan Sugar, because he is a large businessman. And the next is parliamentary sub-meetings. This is a committee made up of a larger audience, again mostly ones who is affected, but it still includes MPs and Lords that would have knowledge and could effectively scrutinise the process and the topic.
The next part is the representations from outside the government. The first one is from opposing members of Parliament. What this is opposing members of Parliament are representatives of another party which will argue against the policy, but sometimes the opposition may agree with the proposed policy but will tend to stay with their party. The next one is letters to MPs. That's the public or anybody affected by the policy are entitled to send letters to the MPs who are creating the policy or against the policy, inquiring how it may affect them. The last one is the MPs' constituency surgeries. Most MPs hold a surgery to give the people in their constituency an opportunity to meet them. It's rather like a doctor's surgery. Constituents can turn up into an MP's office to discuss matters that concern them. MPs usually hold surgeries once a week and advise them in the local press and sometimes in the local library, and the MP will often take up an issue on the constituent's behalf.
The next stage is the Green Papers. Green Papers are consultation documents produced by the government for when they are considering bringing in a new law policy. They will put together a discussion document called the Green Paper. This allows people to, the aim is to allow both people, the aim is to allow people both inside and outside the Parliament to debate the subject and give the department feedback on its suggestions. So in our policy, which was make under 16s pregnancy illegal, and our top points for that was to the prevention, where we educate the people in the 16 in schools and colleges. Then if they did get pregnant, we would fine them £1,000 per parent, and then and then the next step would be determination, abortion. And then it would be a juvenile sentence until the age of 18, and then after that we would cap their benefits.
The next...
Oh no, it's still mine,
Sorry.
Thank you. The next stage after that is the consultation stage, the public response. This is where the government could use things such as social networking sites such as Twitter in order to tell the public that they are considering implementing a new policy, while enabling them to take into account the public's response to that policy, while still keeping things unofficial, so that they don't really damage their reputation and diminish their chances of getting back into power. The next stage is the public meeting stage. This is where this is a way of gaining the public's input on a certain policy by allowing the public to give their view and ideas and then incorporate them into the policy's design. This can show concerns and issues that are not already apparent and give the person in charge an opportunity to address them during the policy's development. Public meeting.
So the stage after that is inquiries. So inquiries, these include select committees work in both houses. They check and report on areas ranging from the work of government departments to economic affairs. The results of these inquiries are public and many require a response from the government. So while in the houses, they really try to scrutinise the policy. They look to see how it actually works, who it would affect, if it benefits one type of person in particular. Really try to get up as much information from this as they can, going into specifics and trying to amend it before they actually set it out.
Next is then they'll switch it from the green paper to the white paper. The white paper is a more finalised plan. This is when this was a piece of paper that would be given to the Housing of Parliament, Housing of Lords and the monarchy itself of more finalised plans and conditions for the policy. And then from there it will then go into the legal processes. So the first one for that one is drafting of the statute. This is, as it says, a starting copy. It's a draft of the statute. So it's just one that will be put into the House of Commons. It's the basic terms of the policy, and all the little fine imprints will then be argued and debated over. So a real nice fine print of the law can be made.
The next two are laying before Parliament and the Parliament readings to use to create the legislation. In these, you read the proposed policy to the Parliament, which then will move on to the next stage, which is voting in the Commons.
Again, voting in the Commons, this is very simple. Basically, it's the Housing of Commons. They'll vote on what they feel about the policy itself. They'll scrutinise it, they'll debate over it, and if there's anything that needs to be changed, it will go back to the very start again of number 1 of the legal processes, and it will be changed about, fiddled with, to make sure it's all fine for everyone, for the majority of people, not just for the party in favour of it. And same again with the House of Lords. They'll argue over it and try and sort out a policy where it's fair for the majority of people, not just for the singularities.
And then when the bill has been agreed by both houses, it will then go to the Queen for the approval of the royal assent. This is done with the advice of ministers, and once the royal assent has been given, the bill then becomes law from midnight of the day of the royal assent, unless a future date has been specified. This is called an Act of Parliament.
Now it's time for actually setting the date for the implementation. This is when the policy is going to be carried out or executed. This means that this is actually when they complete the whole process and actually finalise and accomplish their overall aim. And after that, when it's actually out there, they need to start issuing guidance and directives to public services to support the implementation and identify their accountability. So in this means that they are given guidance and directions for the public services to actually implement the new policy into everyday life and make sure that the public services know how it's going to be used and how they can use it to affect other people. This also means that the government is actually going to support the services in doing this. And once again, it also shows the accountability for each public service, what they have. So if the police force aren't doing enough in one area, they can actually be held accountable for that.
And lastly is the financing of charities and organisations. This is where they will finance a charity, business, organisation to help with implementing the policy, such as with our policy, make under 16s pregnancy illegal. We would, with the policy, they would fund in contraception to help stop the youths from breaking this policy. And that's everything.
Thank you for listening.